gone now, but I always get to know as they're coming in because they change like non-stop.
Write them down so you can look at them. And on the other side of the sheet of
paper, her family's, they're big drinkers. Pool players, dart players, you name it. They know what's going on in the bars. But they were always regulars of mine, and they always shot. They were on my teams and everything.
The other way that you linger on positive thoughts is you
her son, though,
down the noise in your life.
She was very grateful several times because he's done stuff that I could have pressed charges and thrown him in jail or kicked him out and just completely, you know, and I never did. Instead, I called her husband, and I was like, take care of this. And, well, it's like Paul Havermill. Paul Havermill's a very bad drunk and a very heavy drunk. And for a while, when I first opened up, he'd go everywhere and wave his little... They got a little badge they get when they're the councilman or whatever, you know? He'd wave that at everybody, drive drunk, all this other shit. So his dad, they did our security system. Or, you know, they have to put certain things in that are required by law and everything else and put it in there. And he goes, Jeff, you seem like a decent guy. He goes... If my son comes in here, he goes, would you do me a favor? I'm like, what's that? If he's ever drunk, will you call me, please? Keep in mind, Paul's older than me, which means his dad's older than you.
His dad's name Jim?
Yeah, probably. I think so. Kind of a taller guy. Yeah. Well, remember at the time, Paul wasn't big. He had a heavy set. But I liked them, and they were always nice. But Paul was always nice to me. I've always got along with Paul just fine. And I didn't know what his dad meant until all of a sudden Paul started coming in there all the time, bringing people, just drinking his ass off, having his keys out there, flashing his badge, trying to get free drinks. I'm like, oh my God, he's the worst drunk in the fucking world. Paul got pissed off at me a few times because I literally physically took his keys from him. And I was like, you're not driving. Oh, I can drive. And he was trashed. But every other bar does, and I'm like, nope. And then every time I took his keys, I called his dad. And I gave his dad the keys, and his dad would... I don't know if his dad was ever able to take him home or not, or Paul just walked. Because I told him, I'm calling your dad, dude. It's like, your dad told me to call you. But needless to say, with all my problems and everything else, I never once had to deal with Paul or his dad or anybody. And they were always very much appreciative. Because instead of calling the cops or instead of making a big deal about it or embarrassing a councilman or embarrassing the family. However, if you notice, I didn't know this though, but their family was in worse financial than what I was and weren't paying, they were getting things but not paying for anything. And they were like over $500,000 owed or something, because Paul, that's the reason why he had the mayor was going to appoint him to the financial whatever, and Paul had to back out because his family owed so much money through their business, and Paul's part of that business that they're like, why are you gonna be when your family owes?
I have a very strong faith, and I do believe in the power of faith, and I do believe in relieving the frontal area of the brain which is associated with depression, anxiety, and worry, and correlating to that side